The Thousandth Floor Audiobook, written by David Wright.
The quest to build the world's largest freestanding structure is as old as the Tower of Babel, the liftman explained in his cultured, sing-song voice, which is perhaps why we have an in-house translator on the thousandth floor. The fat ladies giggled, but they were tourists and would laugh at just about anything the liftman said. He stood rigid and implacable in his bright red uniform, and for the duration of the 10,000-foot journey, at least, his was the voice of God, except funnier. For nearly 4 millennia, the Great Pyramid in Egypt held the record at 471 feet until it was finally surpassed by the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Since then, there have been some notable achievements, including the Ostankino Tower in Russia, and the CN Tower in Canada, which you can just barely make out over the horizon. He pointed out the transparent titanium alloy window, and all eyes looked north. After a few doubtful murmurs of "There it is, and where? I don't see it," the liftman laughed hoarsely to let the squinting tourists know that once again they had fallen prey to his playful antics. "I'm sorry, my friends. I'm afraid you can't see the CN Tower from here. It was dismantled in the late 21st century, and the Canadian border is a good 200 miles away at any rate. I doubt very much that anyone has eyes that good, even with laser surgery." There were a few groans of embarrassment, and then the liftman continued his narration. "But you can see below where some of our more local contenders once stood, the shiny chrome Chrysler Building, and the world-famous Empire State Building, which was the first man-made structure to exceed 100 floors, King Kong notwithstanding." There were more laughs, and then the liftman's gray-bearded face turned immediately somber. "I'm sure you remember the tragic events that destroyed the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center back on September 11, 2001. Since then, many other cities have joined in the race to build the world's tallest building: Dubai, Taipei, Tokyo, Seoul, Mumbai, and Brasilia. It wasn't until the economic renaissance of the 22nd century that New York was finally able to retain its long-standing title with the Odyssey 1001. The only building ever to exceed 1,000 floors. "Is it safe?" one of the ladies asked with equal parts scandal and pleasure.
I hope you are enjoying The Thousandth Floor. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
She was a round woman, with round, puffy cheeks, deep dimples, and a string of 20 priceless, nano-cultured pearls around her milky white neck, the perfect specimen of her class. Just one of those pearls, if sold, could have fed an African village for a year. "Oh, yes," the liftman replied. "Built to withstand a Category 5 hurricane. God herself could not destroy this building, except perhaps with a Category 6 hurricane." The ladies gasped at this jocund bit of blasphemy, but they were not truly concerned. Nothing could harm them, not God, not war, not poverty, not anything. Not on the 1,000th floor of the world's tallest building or anywhere else. They were the elite, the cream of the crop, the upper crust of the richest country in the world. It didn't matter that they had raped the rest of the planet to get there. They were the best, and they deserved it. As the transparent titanium alloy elevator crested the aging New York skyline and the setting sun broke into a brilliant, rosy kaleidoscope over continental USA, the round lady noticed something peculiar out the window. "What's that?" she asked with characteristic brashness, her stubby, pudgy, perfectly manicured finger pointing towards the horizon. "Why, my dear, that is the sun," the liftman responded facetiously. He knew that the woman was not pointing at the sun, but they were rapidly approaching the last stop on their ascent into the stratosphere, and this was his last chance to conjure laughter from his wealthy passengers, and by extension a formidable tip. "Not that," she said, perhaps a bit peevishly, "that." The object was larger now, and growing wings. "An airplane?" "No." The wings were smaller, more like shark fins. Whatever it was headed straight for them at great speed, a dark flying thing leapfrogging over New York's lesser skyscrapers like a playful swallow. How odd it looked, and yet how graceful. The inquisitive tourists turned to their all-knowing, red-clad liftman for an answer. He stood rigid, rubbing his gray beard thoughtfully, and for once he was speechless. The end.
The Thousandth Floor, written by David Wright. Don't forget to like and subscribe.